Hello everyone, and welcome to the campaign for an English Parliament. In England, we used to have a very well-mannered and civilised patriotism. Not for us, the bells and whistles of our American cousins. But we do have to change this. We have to become as strident as the Americans used to be about defending what we love. We have got to become unashamedly proud of who we are, for we are English. For far too long we have let our representatives put England down in favour of Britain. There are many British MPs who sit in our name in Westminster, who have no loyalty to us whatsoever, and are working for England's eradication. So we become nothing more than a set of regions in a homogenised British stew. We have always been the cash cow that has been milked for the benefit of the whole UK. Now not only are we being milked for the benefit of all, but we are gradually being diminished by design. Are we really going quietly into that British stew and not looking back? I say to hell we are. We English must take control of our destiny, and we must stop believing that government is on our side. We must stop believing that British politicians are interested in our problems, our concerns, or our aspirations. So what can we do to defend ourselves? Well, we must do to them what they do to us. We must stop listening to them. We must stop believing them. And above all, we must stop voting for them. They are only interested in three things: our votes, our money, and our silence. Once they have these three things, they do not give a damn about us. We know this, I hear you say. So I ask, why do you still keep voting for them? I can understand why people voted for the Tories in 2019. They wanted to get out of the EU, and the Tories promised they would do it. But why would we vote for them at any other election, when we suspect we are going to be cheated, robbed, ripped off and lied to, and held in contempt once the election is over? This is true of all Western nations at present, but in England it is doubly astonishing, as there are some in Parliament now who are trying to erase us as a national group and as an ethnic people. And this is not an exaggeration. Look at the devolution settlement. Scotland was given its own parliament. Wales and Northern Ireland get national assemblies. England, 15 years later, got English votes on English laws. Anyone heard of EVEL lately? I bet you haven't. Can anyone put their hand up and give me an example of how England has benefited from EVEL? EVEL was always nothing more than a sop to make us stupid English think we were getting something. In truth, we were getting nothing but laughed at. And remember this: England is the only country in Europe without its own national parliament. The prejudice and contempt we suffer at the hands of our politicians is mirrored in the media. And we know the media is right behind them when we see their output of programmes. The Great British this, the Great British that, the Great British whatever it is, it's got to be great because we say it's British attitude. When was the last time you saw a programme that was called Great English or England's Got? Just think of sport for a moment, especially the Olympics. In the Olympics, all nations are mentioned by name. If a German wins a medal, they are German. If an Italian wins a medal, they are Italian. And even UK winners, if they are Scottish, then believe me, the media lets us know they are Scottish. And if a Welsh athlete wins a medal, well, then the media will be straight up there telling us they're Welsh. But if an English athlete wins a medal, more often than not, it's just another medal for Team GB. Bad enough at any time. But in 2012 the Olympics were held in England, and England was not mentioned once. One particularly insidious form of prejudice practiced by the media is when we hear television presenters say things like, "And now for news from the nations and the regions," the nations being Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. and the regions being England. And why is this? Why is England just regions? It's because the more England is spoken of as just a list of regions, the more it loses its unity in people's minds. They are robbing us of our national identity. And the more people become Northeasterners or Southwesterners or Southeasterners or West Midlanders, the less we are English. As well as the media, all of the Westminster parties are pushing for the partition of England into regions to destroy England as a country and the English as a nation. So why must England be eradicated? What is the reason behind it? Well, as far as Westminster politicians are concerned, England's nationhood must be denied for the preservation of the Union, which means England's identity must be British. So what do we need to do? Well, first off, we need an English Parliament. 1. So that England can be recognised politically and constitutionally. 2. To ensure the future of England as England, and not a set of regions named after the points of the compass. 3. To make English MPs accountable to the people of England and not to the UK government. 4. To give a unified voice to the people of England, so that we will be heard in our own right. 5. So that England's money stays in England for the benefit of the people of England, to make sure that England's taxes are fair for all and are spent on the people who earn the money and pay the tax. 6. To control our national assets. 7. To protect England's culture and history from revisionism, and to prevent further discrimination against the people of England by the government and media. Our forefathers fought for this land over many generations. Many died, willing to give their blood for us, their descendants, to have a homeland. Are we willing to see 1,500 years of sacrifice count for nothing? Are we willing to let British politicians eradicate England for the sake of Britain? How weak would we be if we were to let that happen? What would our great ancestors think of us? I bet they're turning in their graves. What would they say to us if they came back? Could we look them in the eye? Or would we have to bow our heads in shame at what we have let successive governments do to their England? I would like to think that our ancestors would know we did not let this happen out of cowardice, but because we are men of good heart and trusting. Our only fault being we trusted those to whom we gave power. I think they would say to us, take courage. Take your future in your hands and do what the English have always done. And take our country back for the sake of our children. And if we do this, we will be able to look all of our great ancestors in the eye. Men like Alfred the Great, Edward his son, Athelstan the first king, Edward I, Henry V, Marlborough and Churchill. So we can say to them, as great as you were, our greatest hour is yet to come. This is the campaign for an English Parliament. Please give us your support. Come and join us. Help us demand a referendum on England's future and be a hero with your vote. England is worth it. Thank you.